Well, hello again and welcome to Roland's Review. So glad to have you with me. I hope that you are having a very nice Sunday. You know what to do. Hit that little thumb. That is the like button. Hopefully, we can trigger the YouTube algorithm, and that will let people know, that will let YouTube know that you are definitely, most assuredly, enjoying this content that you are watching. And hey, if you were not here last night, I think, when time did I finally stop streaming? We streamed 4 or 5 straight hours so that we could well, we all needed a good laugh so that we could laugh at the demonstrations that were taking place here in America across all 50 states. And we were just, it was a good laugh. It was a clown show, basically. And you saw people melting down, and of course, spreading information that was most assuredly false. Okay. And so here, I try to give you truthful information. Now, if you have Facebook or other forms of social media, please do me one small favor. If you will share this content out, that would be great. Um, and I will do the roll call momentarily. Thank you so much for those of you who have already hit the like button who have already shared out the live video. All right. I'll go ahead and start with the roll call. If you would like for me to call your name, uh, just say hello or share an emoji. If you don't say hello or send an emoji, I can't see that you're here. I can just see a number, but I don't know it's you if you don't type anything. But anyway, even if you don't type anything, hello, we're glad you're here. How you doing, Delia Pearsall? Baldwin Birds, how are you? All right. And Paradigm Shift, how are you? Doran, so there's several people here. Only a few people have actually typed something. How you doing, Laurie? Um, yes, Baldwin Bird says, let's see the news today. It says something every day, Baldwin. Greetings, Dorian. Paradigm Shift, we're looking at the best president on the planet, Trump. Okay, I agree. Um, Dorian says that they fear the recession is coming. Dorian, we lived through the last 4 years of the Biden Harris administration. I have nothing to fear. We just dropped our first truth bomb. How you doing? Bill, ABC TV, how you doing? Peace to you. Hello, hello, hello. UConn leads South Carolina State at the half. Okay, peace to you. I guess you're referencing basketball. I don't look at basketball, but okay. Butterfly Nest, please click the like button. Yes, Butterfly Nest, peace to you, Bill, ABC TV, all of you who have social media platforms. Do me a favor and share this out. Let's see if we can get a nice crowd in here on Sunday, which we normally do. We normally have an excellent crowd. Um, Bill, ABC TV, good, thank you. Okay, thank you so much. Bill, I think you're in Australia, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, so we appreciate you being here. There are millions of other, me too, Bill, ABC TV. There are millions of other YouTube content creators, and the fact that you decide to spend your very valuable time here is very much appreciated. Dorian, even prices are coming down, which is great. Yeah, so I'm going to, and I'm sure none of you look at the legacy media, but I am so sick and tired of people spewing nonsense. Okay, I did. Our C Bill ABC TV, I remember it. Okay. Um, and so I'm going to dispel the lies that they're telling. And of course, if you were here yesterday with the long 4, 5, 6 hour live stream, that's all that they were trying to reiterate. Hector, how are you doing from Boston? Um, Thank you so much, Hector. You are a patriot as well. God bless you, dear. And that's all they do is spew lies and hate. And so you see the very first thing I'm going to share with you. I have videos as well as websites, and you can fact check this. Of course, I would not come on here and tell lies. Pretty much, we all have the internet, so you can look it up for yourself. So I would definitely wouldn't waste your time doing that. Butterfly Nest. I don't like the fact that the higher prices of cars. I'm planning on getting a new car this year. I'm mad at Trump for this. Okay, Butterfly Nest. And we know everyone has their own gripe. Now, regardless of who's in office, you will not like everything. Now, Butterfly Nest, I will say this. I would financially, I would advise you not to purchase a brand new car. And I look at people like Susie Orman, and there are a few other people that I watch. You lose so much when you drive it from the showroom. It actually is best to purchase a car just a few years old, gently used. Okay. Um, and I was just talking to someone about this the other day. Um, and I've had a brand new car before, so I'm good. I don't, and I don't know, Butterfly Nest. If there's some people who've never had a brand new car, they want to try it. Hey, go for it. But I'm just saying, if you've ever had one, you're just like, nah. And Susie Orman, and what's that other gentleman's name? I've looked at his DVDs. Oh my God. And they advise you, they give you financial advice. He's real popular, just like Susie Orman. And they tell you, do not purchase brand new vehicles. You just lose, you may as well ride down the street and throw thousands of dollars out, because that's what you lose as soon as you drive it from the showroom. Um, and Dorian said again, no one's perfect at the end of the day. Yeah, regardless of who's in office, you will not like every single piece of legislation that they pass. Happy Sunday, Honeybee. How are you? So Butterfly Nest, let me know what you think about that, love. And I can tell you, what's his name? I think his last name is Ramsey. I forgot his first name, but Ramsey, Susie Orman. Listen to those folks. They have some excellent information. How you doing, Jeffrey? Peace to you. Very good advice. New car isn't better, especially now. Peace to you. You can find some very nice used vehicles. Yes. Global Logistics. How are you doing, dear? Producer Mark, my favorite YouTube channel. Mark, I'm going to have to send you some hearts in the comment section. Thank you so much, love. And I know I don't see you often, but I know how you doing, TCP show. We're all busy, folks. So when you can't make it, I understand. We're all working. Yes, Honeybee. Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman, both of them will tell you, hey, do not purchase brand new cars. And of course, if you've never owned a brand new vehicle, you want to try it. Everyone wants to try it at least once. I will never, ever. When I sat down and I added up all the money that I lost, and of course, I did that a few years ago, I said I would never purchase another brand new vehicle. No, thank you. All right. Let's see what we have here, folks. Let's dispel the lies that are being spewed. Thank you, Baldwin Birds. I'll send you some kitty cats here. Let me see if I can find some kitty cats for Baldwin. There you go, Baldwin. Producer Mark says, do not purchase a brand new car is 100%. Yes, I've been watching Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman. I am telling you, do not. Is Honeybee still here? Butterfly Nest, let me know if you're still here, dear. We're trying to give you good sound financial advice. And especially now with what's going on, don't waste that money, love. Find you, if you can, a nice used vehicle. Look at this fact check. Prosperity, hi all. That's okay. We're glad you're here. President Trump will always protect Social Security and Medicare. Say it with me again. President Trump will always protect Social Security and Medicare. Producer Mark says, I publish a car magazine in Illinois. Producer Mark, great. As I'm going over this information, please share some pertinent information in the chat that, where is she? That Butterfly can use before she makes her purchase. Thank you. And I'm just sharing what I've learned from Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman, but I'll never, ever purchase another brand new vehicle. How you doing, Lori? Lori, I have to send Lori some cats too, because she has her cats in the box. Okay. I just sent you some cats. Butterfly Nest, I work very hard. My car is giving me problems. And I deserve a car, at least a 2022 Toyota Camry. Yeah, Butterfly, that's fine, dear. We're just saying 2022, that's what, 3 years old. We're just saying brand spanking new, either straight from the showroom. You lose thousands of dollars, dear. So yeah, 2022, that's fine. You know, you can find a nice gently used 2022 Toyota, and you know, I've had 7 or 8 Toyotas and 7 or 8 Hondas. They are both excellent vehicles. All right, so if you're just coming in, hit that like button for me. Share this out on your various forms of social media. Again, I'm going to dispel the lies that are being spewed from the legacy media. If you were here yesterday, we had a live stream going all day, several hours, trying to dispel the lies and trying to share the truth. And they're trying to fear monger like they always do. How you doing, Tina? Yeah, we're glad you're here. Prosperity, those are funds taxpayers had to pay into, and it makes sense, right? Prosperity. And so Dorian, he didn't even mess with Social Security in his first run. Dorian, they're trying to scare people, and they're taking information and they're just sharing it to get people riled up. Yeah, we know straight from the lib playbook. Now let's look at this, and that's why I wanted to go over this, because they're sharing so much, and they said that we're spreading misinformation. What the heck do you think they're doing? Um, so the Trump administration, can everyone let me highlight this? Oh my God. Because we heard that all day yesterday. Um, the Trump administration will not cut Social Security, Medicare, or Medicaid benefits. President Trump himself has said it over and over and over again. Elon Musk didn't say that either. The press, let me highlight this. We see it is all, it's on in the legacy media, on television, as well as in print. This is what they keep spewing. Producer Mark, be even more careful when purchasing a used car that could be 2 to 3 years old with 80,000 miles. Those are Uber Lyft cars that some used car dealers sell and ad manager specials. Okay, thank you, Producer Mark. Continue to drop those truth nuggets in the comment section. Maybe it will help someone else out as well. So Butterfly Nest, I hope you can see the comments, because we have people from all walks of life. And Producer Mark, we do appreciate you trying to help people out. Yeah, and I wouldn't purchase a used vehicle with 80,000 miles, because, well, you know, that's too many. Just what you have to do is do a Carfax and see if it's been in any accidents and things like that. Okay. Yeah, but that 80,000 miles, now that's too high for me. Here is Elon Musk's direct quote. The waste and fraud and entitlement spending, which is most of the federal spending, is entitlements. So that's like the big one to eliminate. That's the sort of $500 billion, maybe 600 to 700 billion a year. So look at this. Okay, folks, are you listening? The U.S. Government Accountability Office estimates taxpayers lose as much as $521 billion annually to fraud. Sean, how are you doing? Yes, it does. And most of that is within entitlement programs such as Medicare and Medicaid. Fact, over the past 2 decades, the federal government has made an estimated 2.7 trillion in improper payments. We've been hearing about that, right? The majority of which come in the form of payments to deceased individuals or those who no longer are eligible for government programs. Fact, the Social Security Administration made an estimated, listen to this, folks, 70, let me highlight that number, 72 billion with a B in improper payments between 2015 and 2022. Now, we know about waste, fraud, and abuse, right? The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services estimated it made 140 billion in improper payments in 2024 alone. What kind of person doesn't support eliminating waste, fraud, and abuse in government spending that ultimately costs taxpayers more? Now, you tell me. Okay, so these, so everything we're listening to. Okay, Sean. Butterfly, I'm single and I deserve a newer car. I live in the city. I will search. Yes, Butterfly, just do your research, dear, so you get something that's, not overpriced and that hasn't been in a wreck or underwater somewhere. Producer Mark, thank you for continuing to drop these nuggets. You may help Butterfly Nest as well as anyone else who may be thinking of purchasing a vehicle. Prosperity, yes. A person who is stealing, right? Sean, the Federal Reserve loves it because all money spent is borrowed into existence with interest. Yes. And then again, they take this money, and this is just the money that they've found. This doesn't also think about the people who are receiving money, and they know they're not supposed to be receiving it, right? I mean, just fraud, straight up fraud and stealing, as Prosperity says. Dorian, there's an investigation and found that Kamala campaign spent 9.1 billion on celebrity. Yes. How you doing, the Arena Uncensored? Our taxes pay the interest on the debt. Sean, you got it. Jeffrey, please like and share and subscribe. Yes. If you're enjoying this content and you have Facebook, Truth Social, do me one small favor, and it won't cost you anything. Hit that little thumb. That's the like button. That tells YouTube that you're enjoying this content. Now, if you don't know where the like button is, type it in the comment section, because sometimes people tell me they can't find it, and then they'll send me a screenshot, and then they'll have to go back out, hit the like button, and then come back in. So that's where we are, folks. And so I wanted to go over this because I am sick and tired of hearing this. And as I'm sure you are as well. Yes, I'm not paying a mechanic with a certified dealership. Okay. All right, Butterfly. Butterfly Nest, is this information helping you any, dear? All right. Okay, there we go. So I shared that with you. Okay, so let me, and what I'll do when I end the stream, I like to share so you can go back if you want to go back and read this on your own. I'll put this in the comment section under the video. All right, so let me stop sharing this. So tell me what you think about this, folks. What are your thoughts? What are your concerns? And this is a federal website that I received this. Okay, Butterfly. Okay, that's all we care about, is that you're making the best possible financial decision that you can. Like I said, we have people here from all walks of life. And we just want you to keep as much of your money in your pocket as possible. All right, folks, I have some more info to share with you. Okay. Now, this is what they're saying. And I'll share this with you first, and then I have a video. Right, Sean? They always do. Yes. I hate the whole narrative of Trump is taking every single social program. Right, Dorian? They're just scaring people just for their own selfish reasons. All right, so let's look at this, and then I'll share you a video with you. Trump's all-out war on the poor. Now, let me say this, folks. Everyone is at a different place in their life, and I don't want to come off as someone who is not empathetic, who is not sympathetic, as someone who could care less about people who are struggling to pay rent, buy food, pay bills. So please, people always, when we do videos like this, people go into my comment section. Battle Ladies, how you doing? People go into my comment section and they say all kinds of horrible things, and you don't care about people. Sean, I've had about 7 Hondas and 7 Toyotas. You can't go wrong. I have a Toyota. I have a 4Runner now. Yes, you can't go wrong. I have a college friend from college back in '98. She purchased a, how you doing, Battle Ladies? Battle Ladies, I'm dispelling the lies they're telling about Trump. So what was I going to say? Yeah, she has I think a 1998 Toyota 4Runner. She's still driving it, over 625,000 miles, still the original motor and engine. So yes, that's why yeah, you can't beat that. So again, folks, please, before you go into my comment section, not anyone here, but the people do that, you act like you don't care. I mean, they say all kinds of horrible things. Yeah, battle ladies, we're on the same page, dear. I'm trying to dispel the lies that the left is spreading. So you're just dropping in, hit that like button, battle ladies, hit that subscribe button for us, please, dear. Thank you. And so I say this, right? Now, if you're of a certain age, now, if you're in your 20s or 30s, you may not have seen, just know with my age, I'm a Generation Xer. If I'm older than you, I may have seen some things that you have not. Okay. And so, I'm telling you, when I tell you things, I like to share information of things I have seen, things I have witnessed. We know there is a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse with the food stamp program. Sometimes I can go to a grocery store and people that I don't know and they don't know me will walk up and say, ma'am, if you give me $100, we'll go into the store and you can buy $200 worth of food. So I'm just saying there is waste, fraud, and abuse. So to sit here and act like it's the pink elephant in the room. We're looking over here, the pink elephant's over here, and we're all pretending we don't see it. That is truth. I'm telling you personal experiences, also that I've experienced, and then other people have told me the same thing. There are people who give people cash. They go to the grocery store and, again, you'll get $200 worth of groceries and you give them $100. They want the cash. Butterfly. People just choose not to better themselves. That's why they're poor. Butterfly. I'm just saying, we're all in a different place in life. I'm empathetic and I am sympathetic. But I refuse. I was not raised. I am not depending. And I thank God. Don't get me wrong. I thank God for where I am in life. I'm able to take care of myself. But I know some people do have to rely on government assistance. But to say that Trump has an all-out war on the poor is ludicrous. Dorian, the greatest lie that the devil ever told is telling the world that he never existed. Oh, yeah. Facts. Williams and the new Toyotas are not built like a 1990. William, you got that right. Those were different days. This is 2025. So, yeah, nothing's the same, right? So I'm trying to dispel the lies, the innuendo. So let me read this. Trump has launched an all-out attack on the poor. The tax bill reform demonstrated clearly that Trump and Republicans in Congress favor the rich and corporate interests over the middle class and the poor. Not a big surprise. Now, this is coming from the Hill. I don't think I need to say anything else. We know they're left-leaning. We know their legacy. We know that. But tax reform was the nice version of class warfare. The proposed budget cuts to nearly every social welfare program imaginable show that Republicans are determined to win a scorched earth type war against the poor, not to fight a war against poverty, but to crush the poor. Okay, so tell me, Sean, yes. So tell me in the comment section. So the past 4 years, the Democrats have been helping the poor. Tell me, I don't remember. I must have forgotten. What have they done for the poor? Excuse me, Americans. Type it in the comment section. I'll wait. So again, and if you were here yesterday, this is what they kept talking about. They're preaching billionaires, billionaires, billionaires. And this is what they're doing to poor Americans. So an oxymoron, yes. Yes, prosperity. They said nothing about 2016 through 2020. They're talking about now, and it's all lies. Okay. Hit that like button, folks. We have 50 people in here. Only 45 have hit the like button. So I'm just saying, Laurie, I work at Hannaford grocery store and I see what the welfare people do. Okay, Laurie, those of you who've seen things like I have, type it in the comment section. We know there's waste, fraud, and abuse. Again, if you are an able-bodied adult, you need to be out here gainfully employed. But people say, well, I'm not going to work fast food. Well, ma'am, sir, you're not going to get Section 8 or you're not going to get food stamps. I'm just saying, When you don't have a job, right? You can't make that call. Well, then you don't need assistance. You're telling me, and I know people, and I have students, because I told you I help students get jobs. They have this mentality. Oh, I don't want to work fast. What do you mean you don't want to work fast food? And some of them are paying $11, $12, $13 an hour. You're too good for fast food? Okay, starve. I'm just saying. This is a carryover from 2021. Jeffrey, I did not buy groceries for 4 years because of buying. Ruby, how you doing, love? And those of you who have witnessed waste, fraud, and abuse, type it in the comment section. I will read your statement. I know I'm not the only person. Laurie shared it with me. The rest of you, what you have witnessed. We've all witnessed waste, fraud, and abuse for the last 4 years under the Biden-Harris administration, with the billions of American tax dollars that were spent on illegals. Tell me I'm wrong. So now, how you doing, Chris? Yes, that fraud too. Yes, Chris. Prosperity. I started my real paying job in fact. Right. Prosperity. If you have bills, if you have things you need to pay, you can't sit up and say, well, I'm not going to do this or I'm not going to do that. You have to work where you can find work. So again, thank you, Butterfly Nest, for the fair use copyright, dear. I'm just saying. So I'm very empathetic. I'm very sympathetic. But like I tell my high school students, if I lose this teaching job tomorrow, you'll see me at the Golden Arches. I can flip burgers. Why not? I have bills and I tell them, I have to pay Rocket Mortgage every month. So I have to do what I have to do. Yes, William, we're not even going to, yeah, exactly. In the Ukraine as well. So I'm just saying, you can't, if you are in need, but you think you're too good to take this job over here, well, then you're not hungry enough, or you must like sleeping outdoors. I'm just saying. Tell me what you think in the comments section. I still need for some of you in the comment section to tell me any form of waste, fraud, and abuse that you have witnessed. I'll tell you, let me tell you something else I've witnessed. Okay, so I've witnessed SNAP. I just told you about food stamps. Now, the proposed cuts to HUD. HUD, up under the HUD program is Section 8, where you have a reduced rent, right? I understand what's going on with the rent and how high they are. The rents are high. Right. Education for, yes, Chris. So all I'm saying is some people, not everyone, please don't go, people who watch this video later, don't go to my comment section without watching the complete video. Section 8, yes. I know some people, they go to because I rented a house out a few years ago. Maga Maha, how you doing, love? And you have a young lady come to you to rent a house. It's just me and my children. As soon as they signed the lease and I left, a male moved in. So people play these games, right? When they go to get assistance, they play games. And again, for the people who genuinely need it, I'm not talking to you. Okay, I am not. For the people who follow the rules. Laurie, in summertime, I have welfare people go through my line talking on their nice cell phone saying, I'll meet you on the beach. Laurie. And see, again, when I go down this rabbit hole, I get hate comments, but I'm just telling you, you have $1,000 cell phones. And I told you as an educator, I see it. A lot of the people who are in line receiving freebies when it's time for school to start back. And I'm not addressing the people who genuinely need it. That's not who I'm talking to. I'm talking about the fraudsters. They're walking around. How you doing, Antoine? They're walking around $1,000. They have $1,000 phones. Their kids have $1,000 phones. $200 shoes on. Hair's done, nails done. But you're here receiving free notebooks and pencils. So your priorities are jacked up. Yes. Type it in the comment section. How you doing, Marshmallow? Millionaires use food stamps, not a joke. Marshmallow, there is waste, fraud, and abuse. That's what we're talking about, dear. Antoine says, I've seen many people on food stamps that didn't need it. Yes, Antoine gets it. Yes, they did. I was working, but they were eating better than I was. Yeah, we're talking about the scammers. Magamaha, anyone call out the girl? She was mad she had to get back her brand new caddy because she was on Snap and EBT. Probably Magamaha, because they'll eat you alive on social media. Jeffrey, buy a new car and then talk about they need some food. Right. And again, priorities. That's all I'm saying. We're not talking about the legitimate people who have fallen on hard times. They've had a job loss and they genuinely need help. That's not who we're addressing. Peacetime, how you doing, love? Blessed lit to you. Thank you, dear. So again, the proposed cuts to HUD, Medicaid, and SNAP, coupled with the particularly cruel idea of replace. Now look at this. I like this, folks. Let's look at this. I actually like this idea. This is what they're talking about doing. This would save a lot of money. And I bet you these people that are showing up to get SNAP benefits, they wouldn't show up to get these boxes of food. Because they don't, why? They want money. But some of them probably would and then go sell the boxes of food. So regardless of the government programs, there's always going to be waste, fraud, and abuse. I mean, that's just what people do. And so the government's talking about replacing food stamps with a government commodity program. So, and then the Hill, we know they're left leaning, just shows how heartless Republicans can be when in control of the entire government. Well, obviously, ma'ams or sirs, this is a referendum from the American people, and this is what the American people wanted. Dorian, which paragraph do you want me to look at, love? As a political salvo in the ongoing war against poor people, Trump's budget proposal is arguably not different in kind from other attacks on the poor. Welfare reform signed into law by President Clinton in 1996 came after a sustained political and intellectual attack on the poor, centered on the idea that the poor were choosing not to work. Well, you incentivize people. And again, 20 plus years later, traditional cash welfare is but a shadow of its former self, and across the country, SNAP is the only support reaching many poor families. And again, there is so much waste, fraud, and abuse. Sean, yes. Prosperity, I saw they're looking to cut several types of purchases, junk food. Yeah. Prosperity, they need to just go to giving out boxes of food. They could say, and if the American people want to do like these illegals did when they were feeding them, oh, we don't want that. Oh, well. Sucks to be you. Okay, that would cut a lot. And I'm not against that. Give people boxes of food. And I'm sorry, if you're poor, you're struggling. You have one child, two children, you're struggling. Why would you have another child? And I know, again, people, oh, you said, I'm asking a question. I'm asking for a friend. Type it in the comment section. You're already struggling and you cannot pay your bills. You gotta cut the strings, folks. Connie, if you're really hungry, you will take a box of food and appreciate it. Connie gets it. Yes. Peter, how you doing? Sign me up for a free box of food. Yes. Prosperity. Get hungry and healthy. Food will look real good. Right? Prosperity. Yes. Tina, America was badly wounded. President Trump did surgery. Now we have to take time to heal. Yes, Tina. Chris, what are you saying, love? Number one, I don't know what you're telling me, dear. The third and fourth paragraph is absolutely preposterous. That's why I'm going through it. I'm trying to dissect. This is from the Hill, so consider the source. You've heard people say that. Definitely consider this source. The demons made the family unit seem obsolete. Then they said, here, we can help just enough. Then people learned to scam them. Now it's coming back to bite them. Maga maha. That's exactly what's going on. Chris said, you're right. Boom. Thank you, Chris. I'm just saying. It's like what Reagan said. Government is not the solution to the problem. Never should be, Doran. You're absolutely right. Ruby, back in the 70s, Before paper food stamps, they gave boxes of food. Well, we need to go back to that. And as Prosperity said, if they're really hungry, they'll come get it. But guess what? They'll find a way to buy food. They're just a lot of people are just scamming the government at our expense. William, people hoard the food. It goes bad. I've seen it. So William, yeah, all of you, tell me what you yourself have witnessed. I'm telling you what I've witnessed. All right. Republican politicians tout welfare reform as a success. Never mind that the demise of traditional welfare has pushed even more Americans into extreme poverty. Can I say something about this, folks? So again, I have to choose my words carefully. Not all. Say it with me. Not all. I said not all. Some people remain in extreme poverty because of poor choices. Tell me in the comment section what you think about that statement. It's a mindset. Just because you're poor does not mean you have to remain poor. You have to have the mindset, I will do better. I will get out of this rut. Maga maha. I remember old-fashioned peanut butter. Would love some of that again. Yes, Maga maha. There are many reasons, and that is definitely one of them. Prosperity, thank you. Now watch, I will get a bunch of hateful comments. People don't like when I call this out. Chris, 3 quarts to my half. Exactly, Chris. And I say incentivize the people who are doing what they're supposed to do. Again, I told you before I touch my paycheck, $1,000 is gone to the federal government. How about giving everyday working Americans incentives? All right, something. Instead of trying to, like the Democrats were doing, taxing us out of the wazoo. Again, they need to realize the government is not, no, they're not. Laurie, at Christmas time, I see a lot of welfare people with the nicest of clothing, stuff I can't afford. Yes. And again, a lot of these people, they're making bad life choices, and then the government is funding it. Antoine, I agree. People choose to be broke in general. Most people are terrible with money. Yes, William. Yes, and look at the grocery stores that are shutting down because, William, I've talked about that. That's, again, the pink elephant. When I do videos on that, I get called everything but a child of God. I get hateful comments. People do not want me to say anything about it. So let me read this. The push to make the thin remaining needs of the welfare state, public housing, Medicaid, and food stamps, also tied to work requirements, also seems a natural policy move. But Trump's attacks on programs serving the poor are not really about the poor. Tell me what you think about this, folks, as we continue. As poverty scholars have pointed out, the rules that govern the welfare state and the level of support the poor receive are not matters necessarily or even primarily about the poor. Instead, they serve as warnings for the rest of us. All right, hit that like button, folks. Monique, how you doing? Okay, we're cooking today. This is a hot button topic, and so I'm just saying, not everyone, and I'm still going to get the bad, hateful comments. We're talking about people who decide to spend their money on something other than their rent or to buy food for their family. You see these people all the time. They're doing GoFundMes and all of these things. And I told people I don't do GoFundMes. You see these people who do GoFundMes and they get thousands of dollars and then they're flossing. They're on social media. They bought a car. They've done this. They've done that. No. Another scam, basically, for money. Tina, I totally agree with you, and I appreciate everything that you share. Yes. Dorian, it is by. This is the hill. I don't need to tell you anything else. And so, yes, Jeffrey, my taxes were just filed. So, Chicago Hood, hey, fam, how you doing? Working but listening. Chicago Hood, tell me what your thoughts are about this. Ruby, my 94-year-old father who worked 40 years and took care of a wife and 3 kids gets $27 in food stamps and able-bodied people getting hundreds. Ruby, That's the problem I have. Ruby gets it. Ruby, the people who have paid into the system, this is what angers me about it. $27, someone who worked all his life, but you have people who've never worked. They get $700, $800, $900, $1,000 in food stamps. They have contributed nothing. Tell me what your thoughts are on that, folks. I told you what I think about it. Jeffrey, yes, 60 watching, subscribe. Please hit that. Yeah, if you're enjoying this content, hit that subscribe button too. The 7 paragraphs brought up race into the, of course they did. Sack and Save was big years ago. The prices were great, but the poor destroyed. William, so many other places. How you doing, Rachel? So many other places have been destroyed. They, the pink elephant in the room, they don't want to say anything. Oh, you're leaving the poor communities and we have nothing else. Tell the people to stop stealing. They're in business to make money. Stop it. It's not about race. I don't want to hear it. Stop making excuses. I showed you when I talked about this a few months ago, one community, they had people standing at the door. They had people standing outside. They were stopping people in their community from stealing. They didn't want that store to leave. It was the last store in the community. Jeffrey, I know a veteran. He passed away now. $8 to sit in the welfare office all day. Jeffrey, yes. This is what I'm talking about. If something were to happen to me or you, and we've worked several years, they give us nothing. And let's consider, I say this, all the money they've taken out of our check all these years, you're not giving me anything. You're just giving me some of what you've taken from me already. Can I get an amen in the comment section, folks? I'm just saying, those of us who work or who are working, we're taking care of a lot of people who could care less. So if something were to happen to Prosperity or Jeffrey or Rachel or Chicago Hood or Chris or William, I'm just saying, you go sit at the welfare office to get $8 or less. Get out of here. And again, none of us in here who have contributed should feel bad. You're not giving me anything. You're just giving back some of what you've taken from me. For me, and I've been working several years now, over 30, 40 years. Chris, exactly, the vets. What do they get? Peanuts. And I'm sick of it. Prosperity, they need to talk about stop putting illegals in the poor communities and raiding all the benefits and resources. Yes. Another truth bomb. And so that's why I'm going over this. And look at this. Look at this right here, folks. As poverty scholars have pointed out, the rules that govern the welfare state and the level of support the poor receive are not matters necessarily or even primarily about the poor. Instead, they serve as warnings for the rest of us. That's not serving as a warning for me, because those of us who may wind up needing help one day, they won't give it to us. So, stringent bureaucratic practices, routine invasions of poor people's privacy, and inadequate levels of support that leave the poor without their basic needs together tell the non-poor, you better not become poor, and you are better than the poor. And none of us feels that way. A job loss, any of us could be, affected. How you doing, English Garden? Why do you think Wall Street investors are worried about companies coming back to America? Trump said he was going to make Wall Street pay for no tax on tips and overtime. Okay, English Garden, thanks for stop dropping in. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're enjoying this content. And so again, when you're receiving assistance from the government, because I think a while back they were talking about making drug testing. I don't have a problem with that. They're taking money from my check to give to people, some who will not work, right? If you're going to sit around and do drugs, right? Hey, you don't need to be on public assistance. And we know a lot of people, not all, I'm not saying all, I said some. Some may drink, some may have other habits, drug habits. Attack on welfare and on public benefits let the struggling middle class know that at least they are not poor. that their struggles and the fact that they struggle makes them better than the undeserving poor, making it harder for the poor to get housing vouchers and denying people the right to pick the food they want to eat by switching from EB cards to commodity delivery does little to address poverty, but it does send a powerful, morally smug message to those who do not need assistance. You see this crap, in the words of Carol O'Connor from Archie Bunker. This crapola is what I'm calling this. How you doing, Robert? Monique, if you're an illegal, you shouldn't be able to get welfare, Medicare, food stamps, or any help that the American people pay for. And Monique, again, the people who wrote this article, they said nothing. The Hill said nothing when the illegals were getting it. They said nothing, right? They were okay with that. So now they're talking about Americans, but when the non-American citizens, how you doing, Chubbs? Thank you for your service, sir. When the non-American citizens were receiving it, oh, they were fine with it, right? And so no one's attacking poor people and no one thinks they're better. I'm just saying, if you are receiving government assistance, that is the time for you to start making some good life choices, some good decisions. Okay, while I'm getting this help, this is what I need to be working on. Not walking around talking about I can't make it because of white supremacy and racism. How you doing, Texas Grown? How are you, Texas Grown? I hope you're a Cowboy fan. Come on now. Let me know. Type in the comment section. These Cowboys going to the Super Bowl this year. Woo! I know that's a pipe dream. All right, Texas born. Let me know something now. Isaiah, how you doing, love? Hit that like button. Okay, we have a nice crowd in here today. Tell me what you think. Maga Maha. Tina, yes. Drug testing, yes. Maga Maha. Why do these Dems want us to think that non-citizens should be able to get citizenship rights? We know they want a new voting bloc. Robert, how about stop making homelessness a crime like they do in California? How about doing something to help them out? Yes. All of you are correct. William, believe it or not, I gave commodity before food stamps. They were required to work 5 days. Yes. You don't get to sit around and relax. You're receiving government assistance. Get up. And again, if you are receiving, yes, Texas Grown. Yeah, Jerry needs to go, but hey, Cowboy fan. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. So all I'm saying, folks, if you are receiving government assistance, it is not the government's job to continue to support you. While you are receiving that support, you need to be making life choices. All right, Ruby, stop laughing at me. I told you that was a pipe dream. Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl. I don't care what Ruby says. Ruby's like, okay, now what's Roland smoking? Okay. Woo! That's my story and I'm sticking to it. And so that's all I'm saying. America needs to be more healthy. I'm glad Robert Kennedy. Yes, Tina, I told you, I teach about the food. I hope he gets rid of the lab grown meat. I teach that. One of the classes I teach is food science technology. I teach about that and the food additives and all of that. Texas Grown. Man got to have dreams and aspirations. Thank you, Texas Grown. Tell Ruby to stop crushing your dreams. Jesus. Ruby, I'm going to put you in the corner again. Ruby put a cigarette in the comment section. Sean, I don't want to hear anything about those she-goals. Bryson, how you doing? Hit the like button. If you're trying to get the L vote Democrat, if you're trying to get a win and make this country great, vote conservative. Yes, I vote in 3 to 6 months and this country is looking a lot better. Yes, Brian, I love your thought process. Sean, the food is horrible. If you want, I will do a video. Type it in the comment section. I teach food science technology. That's one of the courses I teach. I will do a video on the crap that they feed us if you tell me, enough people tell me they want me to. Prosperity, there's a lot of repairing needed from the corruption and theft. Yes. All right, Sean. I don't want to hear about those sorry she-goals. Sean, I grew up in Allentown, Pennsylvania, surrounded. Allentown's only roughly 54 miles from Philadelphia. So, I've had a tough life. Hey. So be nice to me, Sean. Maga Maha. It's not the government's job to be all up in our business anyway, should never have a federal assistance program, period. Maga Maha, all I say is the older people and disabled people. Everyone else, get a job, figure it out. Chicago Hood, okay? I have one person. Chris, do it. Would like to. Okay, Chris, okay. Yeah, I can do a video on that all day long. That's one of the classes I teach. Easton, Sean, I was in Easton in December when I went back home to Allentown because I still have family in Easton, Sean. Yes. Okay. So tell me what you think, folks. What are your thoughts on this? I feel giving food boxes is great. And I'm sorry, folks. Sorry, not sorry. You're out here buying $1,000 phones. Your kids have $1,000 phones. You don't need housing assistance. You need to take that money and pay your rent. Sean, me as well. Okay, Chronicles, impeach Donald Trump. Okay, Chronicles has a different view. Chronicles WBB TV. All right, that's fine. Chronicles, tell us why you want Donald Trump impeached. And again, here we welcome everyone here with a different viewpoint. That's fine. We just ask that, of course, you do not. We don't do any name calling around here. Okay, no name calling. Magamaha, I'm saying federal. We need to have our states take care of our elderly and stuff. It's easy to have checks and balance. Magamaha has an excellent point. And that's what he's talking about doing education as well. Very good. I agree with that. Scripture, a man who does not work, prosperity took it is Sunday. Yes, it's Lent. A man, this is scriptural. A man who does not work doesn't eat. Yes, Texas grown. Assistance becomes dependence by design. Texas grown. You're new to the channel. We want you to stick around. You just joining the channel and you know where we're going with this. Yes, the Democrats want you to remain dependent on the government. They do not want you thinking for yourself. They do not want you working or doing anything productive. As long as you are dependent on them, they have your vote. That's what it's all about, folks. They don't care about you. Yes, you may get food stamps, you may get rent assistance, you never have anything. Chronicles, you were not here in the beginning. I did not say housing assistance for the people who really need it. Again, you were not here. There are some people who genuinely need it. Now, like I said, if you weren't here from the beginning, I prefaced everything with, I'm not talking about the people who genuinely need it. I'm talking about the scammers who are choosing to do something else with their money, Chronicles. You don't know everyone's financial situation. And I don't. And I said that. Everyone's in a different place financially. There are a lot of people who actually do need financial assistance. And Chronicle, we said that. And I don't have a problem with that as long as what William gets it. You're not at Walmart buying 65-inch TVs. And I see the same videos that some of you see. Yes, some of these people get government assistance and they're living better than the people who are working every day. And I have a problem with that. I'm talking about the scammers. Chubbs, I've seen illegals at the supermarket with buggies full of food and beer using food stamps. Yeah. Thank you, Butterfly Nest. English Garden. I'm disabled and on Social Security, disability benefits, but I work when I can. I love working. There's some people who are disabled and can work, but they don't want to. English Garden gets it. Yes. Chronicles. Everybody's not married and some of us don't want to be with some of these sorry, no good men. Especially here in Atlanta. This is modern day Sodom and Gomorrah here in Georgia. Chronicles, yeah, if you're trying to get married, you might need to move, sweetie, because that's not the place to be. You might have a hard time finding a man, okay? We selected Trump, and he's here to stay. Yes, I'm happy with my choices. Texas grown. I've been around for a year at least, but never know when you're on YT, never tell. Texas grown. YouTube has been changing some things up. They've been unsubscribing. I think like 25 people have been unsubscribed from my channel. Just know it's not me. And if you're not getting notifications, make sure that it's on all notifications, love. So Chronicles, I hope that's clear. I hope that you got the full gist of what I was saying. I'm not talking about the people who actually need it. I'm talking about the scammers who are living really well. Hey, where are we here? Okay, there we go. Um, Trump Musk is cutting waste, not things people really need. Yes. Jeffrey, you still using your 500-pound TV, not the floor model. English, as the federal government, and the federal government took my $5,500 from my paycheck last year. My return was $864. Where's the rest of my money going? Well, English Guard, while the Trump Biden administration was taking that money and taking care of illegals, prosperity, and money laundering, filling their bank accounts. Prosperity, we will never like everything a leader does, but the bulk of what they were voted for takes right. Yeah, that's what I said. You're not going to like everything. But for the most part, I like what Trump's doing. I really do. Texas grown. When you add the benefits the government offers, it kind of becomes subsidies. Some are valid, not all. Yeah, and that's what Texas grown. That's what we've been saying, love. We are not talking about we're not talking about the people that genuinely need help. God bless them. We're glad that they have it. We're talking about the scammers who choose to do something else with their money. Let me give you an example. Remember when the pandemic, notice I said pandemic, when the pandemic started and they were telling people not to pay rent, and there was nothing that landlords could do about it. And those checks, people were receiving checks from the government. What? Not all. Did everyone, ladies and gentlemen, did you hear me say not all? Because again, they're going to light me up in the comment section. I already know it. Some people, not all, took those checks, and instead of realizing, okay, one day there's going to be a day of reckoning because it was postponed. They didn't say that you never ever have to pay the rent. You knew a day was coming when you were going to have to catch up. Instead of taking those checks, people were out here buying cars, buying gold chains, $200 shoes, anything, just wasting the checks instead of putting them in the bank. It's a mindset. I know eventually I will have to pay that rent. Eventually, I think some places they had, if like people who had to pay for gas to heat their homes, they were paying utilities. So I'm just saying, instead of putting those checks up, some people went out and blew the checks. Then what happened? It came a time, okay, now you have to pay this rent. Then on the news, and I just became so disgusted, I stopped watching it. They're showing all these people being evicted because they couldn't pay rent. What did you do with those checks, ma'ams, sirs? Okay, I'm just saying, life choices. William, secondhand washer and dryer for you. William, right, you do what you have to do. Sean said, say no to globalism. Monique, yes, exactly. Bryson, I tried to get food stamps. They gave my $13.65 a month, so I never tried again. EBT is for children. The parents who need to feed them properly. I know people who sell their EBT. Bryson, thank you. Thank you, Bryson. All of you who have witnessed fraud, waste, and abuse, type it in the comments. I'm not the only person that has witnessed it. Bryson, right. Jeffrey, yes, Ruby, 25-inch diagonal. It works. You don't get rid of it. Spent my money wisely. Yes, exactly. Ruby said for the people in the back, not all. Thank you, Ruby. They're going to light me up in the comment section. I see it coming. They always do when I talk about these sensitive subject matters. I knew a guy who bought a new car with his stimulus check and he ended up losing the car. Monique, I'm just saying. When you have a mindset, you get money and you run out here and spend every dime. Don't you know a rainy day is coming? Oh my God. All right, I'll continue. Did you read this? You see this? Making excuses for people's poor choices and bad behavior. That's what the left do. I heard of people selling their car. Yes, they do. Yes, William. I know people don't like this. Here we are. So they're trying to make us feel bad. Again, guilt tripping those of us who are working and trying to do the right thing. They're guilt tripping us, telling us we feel good because we have someone we can look down upon. What a load of crap. What? I mean, I can't with these people. All right, here we are. Of course, that is not all that is going on. Attacks on the poor also serve as racially coded appeals to low-income whites who feel threatened by the civil rights and economic gains of minorities over the past 50 plus years, when Trump expressed surprise during a meeting with the Congressional Black Caucus, which he needs to disband and get, since he's getting rid of a lot of things, get rid of the Congressional Black Caucus. Last year, that not all welfare recipients were Black. We know that. If you go to White Appalachia, we know many white people are on welfare as well. It's the Democrats who are always making putting a Black person's face on it. Oh, well, you the Black, get out of here. No one racializes everything except the Democrats. There are plenty of white people, Hispanic people on welfare too. So what? We're not looking down on anyone. For the people who, doesn't matter, white, Black, Hispanic, doesn't matter what your race is. If you need help, we all are at different places in our lives. Okay? So I'm just saying, he said it was not only revealing his own ignorance, but also, this is what they're saying about Trump, also expressing a version of the popular assumption that poverty is primarily an issue for minorities. The truth is far more complicated. While Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are disproportionately poor, the majority of people below the poverty line are white. Attacking the poor both provides a way for politicians to attack minorities without actually saying as much, and also serves to distract voters from the real economic issues of our time. These people are just a mess. Oh my God. Let's not forget the PPP loan fraud, still locking them up. Thank you, Ruby. Cha-ching. It's called the Jones to display fake prosperity, right? Prosperity. Beverly, how you doing, love? Chronicles, WBB TV, been working 32 years and still don't have anything to show for it. Chronicles, do you look at Susie Orman or Dave Ramsey? It tells you how to save and retirement, and I mean, just they both have some excellent information. And I've watched both of them. Chubbs, remember Miss Rowland, the Dems had new slogan. It's very smart one. It's called hands off. Yes. All right. So look at this. And I have a video to share with you too. Hit the like button for me, please, folks. We're doing well. We're up to 80 likes. Oh, wow. Justice Trump's draconian approach to immigration has forced advocates into the defensive position of highlighting good immigrants and the ways in which immigration benefits the country. So too, the rhetorical claim that we need to limit benefits in the interest of workforce development forces those who care about the poor to focus on the merits of the working poor. What is lost, okay, here we go, is the defensive posture. However necessary, it is for anti-poverty advocates pushed into a corner by Republican political dominance. It is that providing food, housing, and medical care to the poor is the humane thing to do, independent of whether the poor are deserving or undeserving. We are a better nation if we build up rather than tear down the social safety net. So again, you know, these are bleeding heart liberals who do not hold people accountable. Okay, we know that. There's an excuse. You know, primarily they say it's white supremacy, it's racism, it's because of slavery. They don't hold people accountable for their actions. Tell me I'm wrong. Laurie, I had a co-worker that lived on welfare when she got another job and didn't tell the state her food stamps were taken away. Yeah, there are rules when you're receiving something from the government. You have to follow those rules. Bleeding heart, empty head, Sean. Trump's war against the poor may not be different in kind from previous political movements, but is different in scale and intensity. Suddenly, all programs seem to be in jeopardy, and the prospect that the poor might be pushed even further to the edges of society is all too real. So again, while you're receiving assistance, you need to be making plans. Okay, this is You know, sit down and write out plans. Okay, this is where I want to be in a year. This is where I want to be in 2 years. So that you can wean yourself off of government assistance. Yeah, you sit there and just continue receiving assistance. You're not planning for a rainy day. Then something like this happens, a change happens. Boom. Hey, come on. I'm saying choices. Life is about choices. Um, where are we here? When introducing the idea that SNAP benefits would be converted into boxes of commodities, Mulvaney likened the proposal to Blue Apron, a service that provides partially prepared meals catering to the taste and needs of the rich. Mulvaney's analogy shows just how out of touch the Trump administration is with both the lives of the poor and with the country's anti-poverty programs they now direct, of course. With passage of the tax reform bill followed by a successful strategy to move the conversation to an invented need to impose work requirements on the poor, Trump and Republicans are winning their war on the poor. But as the left regroups, responses to these attacks should take a broad view. Republican attacks on the poor are ultimately only partially about the poor. They are instead part of an effort to obscure the singular economic importance of regressive pro-wealthy policies and the rise in income and wealth inequality over the past 3 decades. So tell me what you think about that article. Texas Grown, want to see some, go to the Social Security office and pain clinic, see who's sitting in the lobby. Right, it's not elderly. Texas Grown. Not just a rainy day, but any downtime. Yes. Connie, yes, illegals, that's an issue. Sean, rely on God, not government. Yes, I said that yesterday. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Kansas City, Missouri stopped free bus passes they stopped it because of crime. Tell me about that, William. Chronicles, I don't want to pay for rent in Georgia. These corporations in Georgia aren't paying people enough money. Housing assistance programs is a safety net for the working class poor. And Chronicles, I do get what you're saying, because the Walmart that I sometimes shop at, there are people who are working every day, but there are many unscrupulous people who own apartments and they jack the rent up. And so people cannot afford the rent. And there are a lot of people who are working, but they're sleeping in their cars. So again, I get it. We're talking about the scammers, though. We're not talking about the working poor who are genuinely trying to do the right thing. We're talking about these scammers, and people who are making bad life choices. And let me show you this other crap. Now, you're really going to laugh at this. So I found this content creator. Oh, my God. And you're going to be laughing. These people are nuts. Absolutely nuts. Let me read the comments before we get going. These are two staunch liberals. I help news. Magamaha. Trump was doing that for so many his first term. Then somehow, I can't say the C word, was his fault, and Brandon got 81 million votes. We know he didn't really receive that many votes, but we know what really Magamaha. We know that cheating was the culprit. Jeffrey and Sean, I'm a testimony to do what I can do. Okay. Got 2 days. Okay. Texas Grown, Georgia lost a lot of middle class blue collar jobs. Oh, Texas Grown for sure. For sure. Black conservative. Don't like this title, but I like sharing your content. Sharing and like a Black conservative. We're debunking the lies that the left is telling. So I know the title may be deceiving, but this is what they're saying. And I don't know if you were here. I had that article up from the Hill that said that Trump has declared war on the poor and that he's scheming to give large tax cuts. Oh my God. Tell me what, Black conservative, I hope you understand. I put that in there because it is a joke. Oh my, OMG. It's a joke. To us, it is. Those of us who know what's really going on. And these two ladies here, they are just libtards. Magamaha, yes. They were trying to take down Trump and Biden forced a jab on. Yes. Believe and decree a thing and it shall be established. Okay. Black conservative, are you still here? I hope you understand why I have that title. I have that title so we could all get a laugh because we know it's not true. Texas grown. Christ is king and all the glory is within yourself to find the inner peace. Yes, Texas grown. Shadow Seeker, like, share the video. Yes, how are you doing, Shadow Seeker? Tell me what you think. Hit the like button, love. Ruby Chronicles, WBB TV. There's a program called Atlanta Land Trust that can help with affordable rent and home buying. Yeah, those of you who have some pertinent information that can help someone, thank you for dropping that information in the comment section. I'm really enjoying this live. And I love debunking the lies that the left is telling people. And again, they are fear mongering, and people are like, oh my God, my Social Security, my Medicare, my this, my that. And we're like, okay, calm down. None of that is true. It's just not true. And so I know if you see the title, you may be thinking, oh my God, what happened to Roland? But hear me out. Listen to what we're talking about. Okay. Thank you, Ruby. Let's listen to these ladies here. They have a podcast here on YouTube. And so, they are very anti-Trump. And this is what they're saying. They're saying Trump is forcing people into poverty in a sick scheme. Oh my God. Where were they for 4 years when the Biden-Harris administration did nothing to help the homeless American, millions of homeless veterans and other Americans? They said, no, I don't recall hearing from these ladies. Do you? Type it in the comment section. I'm asking for a friend, by the way. All right. Let's listen to these ladies. Prosperity. They're liberal elites. Yes. And they're lefties. Yes. And they're saying Trump is forcing people. If anyone forced us into poverty, it was the Biden-Harris administration with their policies. Oh my God. Listen to this crap.
The United States of America has a convicted felon as president of the United States, and now he is attacking the economy for sport. And let's talk to our guest, Senator Raphael Warnock from the great state of Georgia, to dive into this. Senator, how are you today? How's work going?
Sean said one brain cell between the two of them. Sean, would you please behave? Black conservative said 100%. Okay, you're still here. Thanks for sharing, Black conservative. The hypocrisy is beyond measure. Yes. Listen to this crap. Yeah, they don't look like they're poor. Trump's forcing you. You don't look like you're in poverty to me, ma'am. Let's listen to Warnock, and we know what he's all about. This is crapola.
Good morning. It's great to be here with you. Tough times, but we soldier on.
All right. I want to put up a screenshot here of the Dow Jones this morning, and you see that line at the very end. So what we have are trillions of dollars leaving the 401ks of many, many Americans. And then they might be thinking, oh, well, I'll have Social Security. But as we know, the Republicans plan to attack Social Security as well.
Yeah, we're seeing this all across the country. I'm seeing it firsthand in my state, this assault on Social Security. And as you point out, on top of that, this reckless policy around tariffs. No matter how you look at it, the Trump administration is busy waging war against hardworking Americans, against people who get up every day, who actually have to do things in order to make a living, rather than just playing with money. Which is the people he's surrounded by. And so we're seeing the impact of this. We've seen Social Security offices, announcements around them being closed in my state. And then when I called them to task on this, they made the announcement on their own Doge website. They took it down, said, no, that's not really what's going on. But we shouldn't be surprised. Here is an administration where you have administration officials saying that Social Security is the biggest Ponzi scheme ever, Elon Musk.
Yep.
And then you have the Secretary of Commerce, who's a billionaire, say that, well, if my mother-in-law missed a check, she wouldn't get upset about it. No big deal. How clueless and how detached from ordinary people can you be?
That's what I think
Let me stop and say this: prosperity. Thank you for saying that. And I, like many of you in the chat, may have a 401k. The 401 funding is leaving because Biden broke many people. Thank you. They're not saying anything about the Biden-Harris administration. Nothing. Okay. Everything is Trump's. Trump did all of these. Get out of here, folks. Get out of here. How you doing, Lisa? Lamont, how you doing? How are you? Lamont said, good evening, good people. Oh boy, the orange man's at it again. Get him, Trump. Woo! Yes, here we go. Look at this crap. If you've had lunch, try not to throw it up. Listen to this crapola.
Every time I hear these people speak, I mean, Trump in the Rose Garden yesterday, and he says this all the time, Senator. He always says, groceries. It's an old-fashioned word where you put things in a bag. And I think
He's never been to a grocery store.
He doesn't know because he was born of a multimillionaire and he inherited $500 million. He's never been grocery shopping. And then this is what gets me about these guys. Like, they go after the legislative branch and they have all of your colleagues scared to death. And I know behind the scenes, I've heard from your Democratic colleagues that these Republicans are like, oh God, they're the worst, but they don't have the spine to speak out against this like you and your Democratic colleagues do. The Republicans don't. And it just gets me so much that he's attacked the legislative branch. He's attacking the judiciary. And I think this attack on the economy is intentional and a further way to, number one, devalue democracy, and number two, a way that he can force people to kiss the ring. And imagine how insecure you have to be that you want to get rich people to come bend the knee to you, all of these corporations. And I think it's a really sick game that he's playing. And it amazes me that he still has followers. What do you have to say about that?
Okay. What do you, in the comment section, what do you have to say? And I'm trying to keep up, but you are lighting this comment section up. Oh my God. Shadow Seeker. There was a YouTube video about how the stock market affects rich people over millionaires' status, 51% of them versus 49% of the entire middle class and poor. Remember, millionaires, right, Shadow Seeker. William, get your butt to work, not from home, drive or walk to work. Right. Yes. Arena, Warnock, Stacey Abrams. Yes. He's such a liar. Hope God gets you supposed to be a man of God. Oh, Tina, if he's a man of God, okay. I'm and Marie Antoinette. Let him eat cake. All right. Sean Dylan Mullaney's uncle, right? Sean has been bad all day. Oh my God. Democrats are nothing. Yeah, just lies. Tina, I would not, if I went into a church and I saw this guy, I would run out. Black conservative. Some of my family believe this lie, but I have to inform them it's not true. Yeah, Black conservative, before you join the chat, I had an article up from the Hill and another article, from another website, government website, that debunked all of these lies they're telling. They still don't like Trump, but they'll listen to me and actually let me get a word in. All right, Black conservative, don't give up, love. Where are we? But their house of cards is falling, and it's a good thing to see. Lamont, yes. Al Sharpton Jr., William, Sean, yeah, there's so much bull here. It reminds me of Gunsmoke and The Rifleman and Rawhide, which I watch every day. Woo! And don't forget Wagon Train. Where are we? Shadow Seeker. She's never even been to a pharmacy, let alone a grocery store. She's mail order. Shadow Seeker. How you doing, Donovan? Donovan was here. Where is Donovan? Donovan, well, he was here. Donovan, if you're still here, hello, love. We're glad you're here. We're exposing the lies that the left is trying to use. They're trying to fearmonger and scare people. Tina, I'm a Georgia girl and I can't stand him. Right, Tina? Lamont said Dummycrats. Looks like a bad undertaker. She's a definition of stupid. She's getting to the point, if you were blind, you would think they have the same guy pushing the same crap. Black conservatives are laughing. I don't have to worry. Wisconsin got a One word. Wisconsin got a huge win. Yeah, that's probably the only win the Dems will get. Listen to the rest of this crap.
Well, as I said, this man and this administration is waging war against hardworking people. We see the attacks on Social Security. We see the attacks on Medicaid. And all of these mass firings done not in service to the country, but done in service to what their ultimate goal is, and that is to give a massive tax cut to the wealthiest people in the country. I mean, folks who are watching me, don't be deceived. This tax cut is not for you. It's for the wealthiest of the wealthy in our country.
And sir, you are one of the elites. All the Democrats are the wealthiest of the wealthy. So stop trying to place it on Trump and the Republicans. What about the millions that all you Democrats have? I don't recall you saying anything about that, sir. As a matter of fact, how much money did you have before you went into office? I'm asking for a friend.
And they're going to do this. In order to do this, they're going to, by the way, put a larger hole in the national debt, add trillions of dollars to the national debt over 30 years. Imagine this, 37 trillion more dollars on our debt, burdening our grandchildren and our children, the very young people who right now find it almost impossible to buy a home in this economy. And then yesterday's announcement.
What does he mean it's impossible to buy a home in this economy? He inherited this economy from the Biden-Harris administration. So again, the libs, the Democrats will not take, they won't accept that they caused all of these issues. So now Trump is the president and now it's his fault. Get out of here with this nonsense. Thank you, Shadow Seeker.
Around these tariffs on everything coming in. This is a tax. That's what it is. He's cutting taxes for billionaires, raising taxes on almost everybody else, because this tariff is going to show up at a grocery store, a word that he seems to that seems quaint to him. It just shows you the amount of privilege. These taxes are going to show up at a grocery store near you. This is real money and real pain for ordinary people. So what we've got to do is we've got to stand up. We've got to straighten our backs.
Yeah, we had some real pain under the Biden-Harris administration, sir, because you spent billions of our tax dollars on non-American citizens, and you spent millions of our dollars to the Ukraine. So that's where the pain came in, sir. But I don't hear you saying anything about that. All right, I'll continue.
We cannot give in to those who are trying to weaponize despair. They're doing all these things that we're talking about, but here's the other thing they're doing. They're trying to convince us that he's already the king, that there's no need in fighting back. And that's how autocrats win. They convince you that they have more power than they actually have. And then you stop fighting, you cede the space, and that's what they want. It's dark right now, but it's in the darkest moments that the stars shine, and all of us have to find a way to shine in this moment, to raise our voice and remember that ultimately the power is in the people.
All right, what do you think about what they've said so far? Let me get rid of this commercial. Lamont, now he's just the president. That's exactly what Dems do. Yes, hit the like button for me, folks. Oh my goodness, we're almost at 100 likes. I love it. Here we go. Tell me what you think in the comment section.
I have a question regarding the upcoming midterms. We saw in Wisconsin that Elon Musk galvanized people to vote against him. And as we get closer to 2026, when these Republicans who are getting booed in every single town hall, will they start to stand up to Donald Trump because they know what he's doing is wrong as we get closer to their election? Or am I just trying to see hope in something that's not there?
Well, I think what we saw in Wisconsin, and I'm always reluctant to play pundit here. I stay focused on my work here in the Senate. But we saw the outcome. We literally saw a man flood the zone with millions of dollars in Wisconsin. over a judicial seat. And as you put it, he did a great job of organizing the people against him. I think people see this, they resent it. They said Wisconsin is not for sale. And I think we're going to see this over and over again. But even as we have defeated Elon Musk in Wisconsin, what we saw with this crude display, it was repugnant and offensive. A grown man dressed in a black suit with a cheese head jumping up and down and handing out $1 million checks. As grotesque as that is, we have to remember that this is really just the extreme example of what's ailing our system, embodied in Citizens United, that awful decision where the Supreme Court said that corporations are people. And we are just seeing entirely too much dark money in our political system. Is squeezing the voices of our people out of their democracy. And that's how you end up with crazy laws that we've had on the books for years that, for example, literally made it illegal for Medicare to negotiate with Big Pharma on the prices of the drugs that they're selling us. Imagine that. In a system that's supposed to be built in capitalism and on the market, it was actually illegal for Medicare to.
All right, let's see. How you doing, Smart Final? Hit that like button for me, please, love. 5 likes from 100. I love it. Yes, Mayor, he's full of crap, fear-mongering, BS. Yes, Sean, Ruby. Yes, why don't they get rid of Soros? Lamont, he's like the freaking crypt keeper. He just keeps on living. And unfortunately, he's trained. When he's gone, his son is the same way. He's trained him. So, Lamont, I would be glad when we see the rebirth of journalists. I am one, and this is disgusting. Just tell the truth and let the chips fall where they may. Yes, Smart Final demo crap. And Shadow Seeker said, this woman is creepy. Black conservative handing out $1 million checks is bad, and it's Elon's money, not taxpayer. Right, Black conservative. And he said it was disgusting. You didn't say anything about the billions that were spent to us. Let me tell you what's disgusting to me, sir. Spending billions of dollars worth of taxpayer money on non-American citizens. That's disgusting to me. William, what about Kamala paying rappers? Yeah, that was disgusting. They spent $1 billion. You care so much about the people. The Democrats spent the Kamala campaign spent $1 billion and still failed. Thank God. Where are we here? Prosperity, he's one of many reasons people have fallen away from the church. Right, a wolf in sheep's clothing. Someone typed it here earlier. The Democrats are still accusing Trump of trying to eliminate Social Security when he himself, that's the lie they keep telling. Oh my God. Tina, after the protest yesterday, President Trump's approval rating went up. Yeah. Donovan, how you doing, love? Just because you live in the hood doesn't mean the hood has to be dirty. Pick up the trash. Donovan, yes. Truth bomb. Donovan, we're talking about, and I think you joined us late. We're talking about the scammers, the people who genuinely, and Donovan's an intelligent young man. He understands what we're talking about. We're talking about people who genuinely need help, but we're also talking about, the scammers we're talking about. They need to get out and get a job. And that's what we're saying. Lamont, billions spent on illegals is nasty work and diabolical. Yes. Never would have paid it. Right, Lamont? So Mayor, I hope you get better, love, with your headache, dear. Just relax. Yes, Donovan, type in the comment section. Donovan, before you got here, I asked people to type and let me know if you have witnessed waste, fraud, and abuse for people selling food stamps or people receiving Section 8 housing when they were deciding or choosing to spend their money on something else. Producer Mark, rolling reviews. If you want to share any footage from my channel of the Tesla protest by the left, please feel free to share. You have my complete permission to do so whenever you want. Producer Mark, yes, I'll send you my email at the end so you can send me some info and I will definitely share it here, dear. Producer Mark, Donovan, Sadiq, anyone else who has a channel and you would like to drop your channel link, please feel free to do so, folks. Go and subscribe. Donovan does some excellent things over on Demetra K's channel. And producer Mark has some good info too. So you guys can drop your channel links and we'll go. Well, I'm already subbed up, but we'll send some more people over to sub it up. All right, here we go.
To negotiate the price of prescription drugs. The person who wants to sell you something comes and says, you buy it and I'll tell you what the price is and you just pull out your wallet and pay it. That was the rule until we changed the law and forced through the Inflation Reduction Act that we passed a couple of years ago, Big Pharma finally to negotiate the price of these prescription drugs is real help for real people who right now are having to decide whether to buy prescription drugs or buy groceries.
What I think is one of the biggest cons perpetuated in the American psyche is that the Republican Party is for the people, that the Republican Party is so good with the economy. And when you look at it, every time a Republican gets a hold of the economy, they wreck it every single time. And then a Democrat has to come in and clean it up. And my question for you is, how do we change the messaging as a party? Because the Republicans, and you're a reverend, and the Republicans tend to use people's faith to get them on.
Let me say, Chicago Hood. I think I'll pin that'll be the pin comment of the day. Chicago Hood, and before you joined the chat, I said this. The Lord will never bless ill-gotten gains. Your household will be cursed. Chicago Hood. I'm going to pin that. That's what we were talking about earlier. So yes, you may be getting food stamps from the government. You may be getting free housing or low rent. But if you're doing it and you're scamming the government, you will remain in poverty. We said earlier, I didn't word it the same way, but you'll never have anything. Okay, because you're a scammer. We're not talking about the people who legitimately need help. Oh my good. Yes. Chicago Hood said that on Lent Sunday. I love it. Here we go.
On board with their messaging. We're for family. And it's like, well, no shit. Who isn't for family? Everybody is. You know, the fact that you have to say that is a red flag. But they tend to boycott people's faith. And then a lot of working class people think, oh, they believe the way I believe. And inherently, there's this dissonance in the United States with people of faith. On the one hand, we've been raised as Americans to worship capitalism. And then on the other hand, if you're a Christian, Jesus spoke against the accumulation of wealth. And you have these two forces that cause this dissonance. And I believe this kind of shared psychosis with tens of millions of Americans, where now it's been, it's come to life here with this Trumpism. And as a reverend, I'm not a religious person, and that's why I can live in this country and openly say that. That's my right. But as a reverend, I feel like my question for you is, this religious messaging that the Republican Party has owned seems to have really damaged this.
Yes, now she's talking about God. Oh my goodness. I think I'm going to throw up my lunch. Yes, Magabaha, she did just prove how stupid she is. Oh my God, Lamont, God has the final say so. Prosperity, you have told me that several times, and that is God honest truth. Yes, Chicago Hood, yes. She just proved how stupid she is. Don't speak Jesus' name, Satan. Prosperity. Oh my God. Prosperity. You guys have prosperity in here being bad. I love it. Malik, how you doing, love? She's talking about herself and the Democrats. Wolves in sheep's clothing. Yes. Our Lord and Savior will be the judge. Exactly. Smart final. This woman is a liar. Jesus did not speak against wealth. Exactly. Well, she looks evil. Trumpism. Right, William. Hit the like button for me, folks. This is crazy. And I know it's Sunday and I'm subjecting you to listening to this crapola, but we all know what it is.
Country. And they've used it as a way to emotionally and spiritually blackmail the electorate. And I wanted to get your take on that.
Well, honestly, I got in this crazy work of politics because of my faith. I've spent many years long before coming to the Senate standing on the side of the most marginalized members of the human family, ordinary people, fighting for health care long before I came to the Senate when the Affordable Care Act was passed. I was fighting for Medicaid expansion in Georgia. I got arrested in the governor's office saying that we ought to expand Medicaid and not leave 600,000 Georgians in the healthcare gap. By the way, these people who are in the gap are the working poor. These are folks who work every day, keep our lives going, and we were denying them healthcare. So when I see people support those kinds of policies, honestly, I don't know what Bible they're reading. I've got a PhD in theology. I spent a long time reading the scripture. And the scripture tells us that the strong ought to bear the infirmities of the weak. I'm a Matthew 25 Christian.
The scripture also said, as Prosperity quoted earlier, if you don't work, you don't eat, but you don't say anything about that. You don't say anything about holding people accountable for their actions or holding people responsible for their actions. I'll continue.
Where Jesus said, I was hungry and you fed me. I was thirsty. You gave me something to drink. He says, I was sick and I was in prison and you came to visit me. And then the question came, Lord, when were you hungry? When were you sick? You're the Lord of creation. When were you without clothes? When were you in prison? He said, well, inasmuch as you've done it unto the least of these, my children.
Okay, now they always throw that guilt trip on us, right? So we're so sorry. But again, that's not helping people. You tell people, okay, look, again, when you're receiving government assistance, you need to have a plan to wean yourself off. Okay, so sit down and make a plan. Okay, I'm going to do this year, next year. And then, you know, there's so many programs available. He's putting a tariff on Big Mac sauce. Uh-oh. Chubbs won't like that. Okay, Ruby, thanks for stopping in, love. Thank you so much, dear. Chicago Hood, God made Solomon the richest man ever because he asked for wisdom and not wealth. God is not against prosperity of his children. No, he's not. Thank you, Tina. Yeah, it's been under Democrats. And Jesus spoke against the love of money, not having it. It's the love of it. It's the root of all evil. Mayor said these women look like they eat lemons. Right, Prosperity. Tell him the church is supposed to help the poor. Mayor, I'm glad you said something. I was waiting to see it in the comment section. Right? What happened to the churches that was supposed to be helping the poor? Stop depending on the government for everything. What happened to the church? Now a lot of people say they go to the churches and they're told they can't help them. Okay. I was waiting for someone to say it. Shalom. How you doing, Queen? Hit that like button. Let us know what you think about this subject matter. I'll continue.
You've done it also unto me. And so my faith drives me to center the poor, to center those who are struggling, who are trying to make their lives work. And so as I listen to the conversations very often in our public space, I have to come to the conclusion that Jesus must be the first and biggest victim of identity theft, because I don't know this Jesus that they're talking about, who was born in Bethlehem, raised in a ghetto called Nazareth, smuggled into Egypt as an undocumented immigrant, healed the sick, and never billed them for his services. That's what inspires my work every single day. And I think those of us who are here ought not cede that space to people who have hijacked the faith. And I'm not just talking about Christian faith. I'm talking about all of the great faith traditions talk about mercy and justice and compassion. There's some 2,000 verses in scripture that tell us how to treat the poor. You would know that listening to some of the preaching coming from American pulpits and listening to those in the sphere of politics who do awful things in the name of faith. Here's the thing. My faith is not a weapon that I use to punish other people. It's a bridge focused on bringing people together to do the big things, to imagine a future that embraces all of our children.
All right, tell me what you think, folks, about this crap that they're spewing. Oh my God. Tell me, I'm reading the comments. Lamont said common sense works too. Yes, he needs to walk down the streets of Chicago and preach after dark. William, we won't hear from him again. He'll become a crime statistic. Chubbs, and why don't he donate his senator's check to the poor? Right, Chubbs. That's why I ignore these people. Chicago Hood said, no, you do not know the real Jesus at all, you blasphemer. Woo, I love it.
I think the most important thing you just said is that your faith is not a weapon, because that's what it feels like a lot. We live in a red state, a lot redder than Georgia. You live in a purple state by evidence that you're a senator, but it seems like faith is really weaponized. And I just want to advocate really quickly that there are people that are.
I have to stop and read this. Focused on lying to people. Yes. Lamont said, bro, you on here gaslighting. Yes, Queen. Let me read Queen's statement, because I love this. And this is what I'm talking about, Queen. Trump has forced melanated people to stand on their own 2 feet like they used to, and depend on man. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and righteousness, and all these things will be right. Queen gets it. And this is what I was saying yesterday. And Queen, I think you were here, and I told you I have people coming to my comment section. They you don't know what you're talking about, and sometimes people need it. They make it seem like I'm not empathetic, I'm not sympathetic. But like I had someone come in, matter of fact, I need to pull it up so I can read it to you, and tell me that I just sort of blow off white supremacy and racism. And I said, look, nothing is going to stop me. If someone doesn't like me because of the color of my skin, that's between them and their God. I don't give a care. I'm out here working, trying to do what I can. Faith is a weapon and faith is power. Yes, it is. Yes, Queen, you have to depend on God. You don't depend on man. Right. And that's basically, Queen, I said that. I think you were here on Saturday, because I told you someone left me a comment tell me that I blow off white supremacy and racism. And I said, it's not going to stop me from doing anything. What God has for you, if you believe in God, no one is going to stop you from anything. White supremacy, racism, lose me with that. Okay, I'm just saying. The most powerful weapon, is there still racism in America? You have people of all races who don't like people of other races. But I don't give a care. That has nothing to do with me. And what I'm trying to do, as long as I believe in God, I will make it. Prosperity, the most powerful weapon is faith in God. He will fight your battles and give you the victory. Yes, prosperity, I don't care what people are doing. That I have nothing to do with that. Their thoughts of me, I don't care. Tell Bruce Jenner or Caitlyn to go sit down. Oh my God. Woo, this is too much. I'll finish it.
Are not religious, that have always fought the good fight as well, like your colleague, Senator Bernie Sanders, who has always had the same message decade after decade after decade, fighting for the marginalized, fighting for the working class. And it seems like the MAGA movement has hijacked your faith. And I hope that non-religious people and really good religious people like you that want to fight the good fight for marginalized people, for trans people, for gay people, for Black people, for immigrants, that we can all unite together, because I think that people that use their religion as a weapon is a cancer in this country and led us to this very moment where we're sitting here watching our whole country get dismantled. And so your voice is so important to galvanize voters of faith to get back on track, because I can tell you, I'm from the war zone here in deeply red buckle of the Bible Belt, Oklahoma. These religious people are not well right now. They seem to like to feast on the cruelty. They like what they see when Trump puts out those videos where they're carting people off to El Salvador.
I think often those are the loudest voices. But I dare to say that even in Oklahoma and all over the country, there are Americans of goodwill. Some of them attend churches and temples and mosques. Some claim no particular faith tradition at all, but they're people of conscience. And that's what has always made our country great. And I think that in this moment, we've got to build a multiracial, multi-generational, multi-religious coalition of conscience that embraces people who claim no particular faith tradition, but have moral courage. And we've got to not lose faith in our country and faith in each other.
I love that.
I do too.
I love it. I think you should be in charge of that coalition.
I do too.
I'll join. I'll be the first to sign
Come
it.
on, let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah. And I think you guys, I think that there's a vibe shift. Shout out to Cory Booker and what he did. And I know that you were there with him.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's definitely a vibe shift. And I just thank you so much for coming on and having, you know, real conversations with us about what's going on with the United States, because so many people feel lost out there and they come to our channel and other channels just to feel like I'm not alone. I'm not a crazy person. So thank you for contributing to this moment of clarity and sanity for us.
Thank you. Keep pushing. Keep the faith.
We will.
Okay, that's enough of her. All right, what are your thoughts, folks? These comments have not disappointed. Okay. Oh my God. Woo. Oh wow. This is the best comment section on YouTube. William, carting people off to El Salvador. Yeah, they don't talk about the hardened criminals and the crimes that they've committed against American citizens. I said, oh, they're taking people away. Well, this person committed 25 heinous crimes. Stop it. Lamont said, weirdo coalition. Where are we here? Dim's pulling the religious card. Right, Arena. Now, you know it's going to snow. Faith in Christ is not a religion. It's a relationship. Yes, Mayor. Chicago Hood had an excellent comment. Blessings come from obedience too, i.e. tithing, helping others, expecting nothing in return. Yes, Chicago Hood, exactly. And again, what did I say earlier? Chicago Hood, what I said earlier. Derek Gayton, how you doing, dear? Hit the like button for me, love. What I said, yes, we have a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse, but how many of you noticed these people? They never get anywhere. Yes, you may get food stamps, you may get free housing or low cost housing, but when you're scamming, I can see you in 10, 15, 20 years. Yes, you may go out and buy things, but you never really have anything because you want about it. It's ill-gotten gains. Prosperity, that disgusting protest yesterday was aligned to push the devil's agenda because he knows, yes, he's already lost, right? Romans chapter 1. Thank you, Chicago Hood. Chubbs, that's because, oh, these comments are coming. The Oklahoma religion, people don't know Satan. Yeah. Yep. They don't know when they see him. They feel alone because there aren't many of them. Yes, Sean. Magamaha. If you came in illegally, bye-bye. Exactly. Yes, we're all praying for you, Mayor. Yes, love. Tell the Dems to stop sacrificing babies. Okay, Arena, exactly. Hit the like button, folks. One more and we'll have 100 likes. Yes, that protest was disgusting. And again, they were spewing all those lies. I said today, I'm doing a video to debunk the lies that they were spewing. Lamont, time to cook dinner, speak up and be heard. Let's get back to family. We can never be stopped. Yes, Lamont. How you doing, Beverly? Queen said you're bound. I don't know what Queen is trying to tell me. Faith is everything. Hope for evidence of things not yet seen. Yes. Tina, the senator. Yeah, we're not ignoring these people. They're nuts. So tell me, I wanted to do, like I said, a video on that because after we streamed all day yesterday, oh my God. Was it 3, 4, 5 hours? I just told people were just coming in and out. And I told people, like I know on Saturdays people are busy. So I was just like, tell me what your thoughts are. As they were sitting there watching those nut jobs. I was like, oh my goodness. All right. So anyway, that's all I wanted to share with you. Queen, like, share, comment, subscribe. Yes. Mayor, thank you, dear. Yeah, I wanted to come on, and when I listen to this crap and I read this crap online, I have to come on here and you have to talk me off the ledge. So you come to hear what I have to say, but I also come to hear what you have to say because I'm like, these people can't be serious. That woman that said she wasn't illegal. Yep. Being on assistance is being bound to the gut. Queen, yes. Yes. You're on a plantation. The master is still supporting you, taking care of you. Again, we're not talking about people who have fallen on hard times. But again, if you've fallen on hard times and you have to get assistance, make a plan, okay? You should be planning, okay, to wean yourself off, because now what's going to happen if Trump does, if he takes away food stamps and housing from some of these people, they're going to be out here on the news, looking sad and pitiful, right? Will Rogers was from Oklahoma. He's turning over in his grave. William, you know that. Oh my God. Jeffrey, that's the bad thing, Lynn. They believe what there's Jeffrey, that's the scary part. People, yes, prosperity. People on the chat on this chat are too wise to fall for the foolishness. Good job. Yeah, we have intelligent people in this chat. Yes, Queen. Queen, you came in at the end, but when we ended, I want you to go back and look at that article that I shared, because they want you to feel so sorry. Make better life choices, people. Again, I'm not talking about the people who genuinely need it, people who had a job loss, something bad happened, a medical situation happened where you couldn't work. We're not talking about those people. We are talking about the scammers, the people who could legitimately get out here, work, do for themselves, but they choose to do other things with their money. Laurie, please don't jump off the ledge. We need you. Laurie, that's why I come here. You keep me from jumping off the ledge. When I watch these podcasts with these nut jobs, whew. Right, Tina? God's children shall not be deceived. Mayor, I don't want to see people go hungry, especially Mayor, I don't either. It's the parents that make bad decisions, right? And the children suffer. I can say this, it can get exhausting watching stupid people. Queen, I'll watch the replay. People who have been on the system as a career choice. Not right. Right, Queen. Yes, Queen that gets it. Yes, Mayor. We're not talking about elderly people. We're not talking about disabled people. We're talking about people who are scammers, who don't try to better themselves. They just sit there and get their assistance, and they're happy with that. And it's not much. Again, you never really have anything. You're a slave and you don't know it. Queen said that earlier. If the government is taking care of you, just like in slavery days, they fed you. You lived on their property. They had a little shack for you. So what's the difference? You never had anything. You still don't have anything. What's the difference? If there's a difference, someone share it with me. Now, I told you they're going to light me up in the comment section. Woo! I may have to delete some of it because they'll be using some choice words. And I've been called everything but a child of God, which I'm a Generation Xer. I don't care. I'm good. People see it as entitlement, not as scamming until they're... Shadow Seeker has an excellent point. They see it. Oh, I'm entitled to I deserve this. And you're right. They don't think it's scamming. They don't. You know it's scamming, and I know it's scamming. But I'll tell you what. When they get caught, and you see them, they're crying, and oh my God, I'm not crying for you. Like, this is what I'm doing. When you get caught, this you see right here. This is what I'm doing. Save it. Oh, I'll play a little violin. Don't care. Sucks to be you. Sean, child of God. Now you've been called. Sean, okay, thank you, Sean. I finally been called a child of God. Thank you. Goodness gracious. People see it as entitlement. Okay. They just get you over the hump and then praise the government for the help. Yeah. Bye, fam. Yeah. Thank all of you for being here. I enjoyed this. Exactly. I had to get assistance when I lost my job over 10 years ago. I told them, you don't pay enough to be on the system. Thank you. Queen gets it. Yes. I told them you don't pay enough to be on the system. I had an MBA and needed temporary help, hence temporary help. And I'm an educated. Yes, Queen, you went to get help. You have your I think that's a master's in business administration. So Things happen. People lose jobs. You went, you got help, boom, you got off of it. You didn't make it a lifestyle choice. That's how it's supposed to be done, Queen. Queen. And I hope you don't feel bad. I said it earlier before you came. Those of us that have worked and paid into the system, they're not giving us anything. You're giving us back some of what you've been taking out of our checks for years. Yes, Queen, 100%. Yes. All right. We're going to go. I've enjoyed you. I'll be live again, I guess, on, I don't know, Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. Queen, yes, Queen gets it. Yes, I love it. That's what we're talking about. Yes, Tina, thank you, love. God bless all of you. Thank you for spending your very valuable time here at the Rollins Reviews YouTube channel. Take care. Again, make sure if you're subscribed, it is on all notifications. Hit that like button, share this content out. I've enjoyed all of you. Later, potato. Okay, Sean, thanks for dropping in again, dear. Mayor, thank you. Take care. Always a pleasure. Black conservative, Mayor. Yes, I enjoyed each of you. Each of you had some comments that were thought-provoking, and I loved it. So I'm going, you know where I'm going now. I'm going to the, thank you, Baldwin. I'm going to the comment section, and I will talk to you there as long as you, Shalom, Queen. Yes, Queen Adaya. Yes. I'm coming to talk to you in the comment section. As long as you were there, Jeffrey. Yes. Love you all. Be safe. Coming to talk to you right now.